Hello, welcome to Conversations. My name is Nike and I have a selection of lovely ladies in the room today. We'll be talking about a very new trend, new topic that seems to be sweeping all over the country and even beyond. I'll leave the ladies to introduce themselves.
I'm Gloria.
My name is Edith. Welcome to the show.
My name is Divan.
Okay, ladies, we're going to be talking about ATM wives. Devan, you'll be doing the definitions when we get back, but first we're going to have some ideas from people on the street on what that word actually means. ATM wives today in the conversation room.
I feel it's very wrong, very wrong, because I think most times the women don't even get to know that that's what the men are after, maybe their money and all of that. So they might just get into it and then in the end realize, and probably it might be too late and it cause problems in the family and their home. What's your take on
it? These are basically people who got married to certain women for the purpose of their wealth, probably their affluence, and what they tend to get in a relationship.
It all depends on individual understanding. You understand? But normally it's supposed to be, the wife is supposed to be assisting the husband. You understand? Because the Bible said husband is the head of the house. So actually the wife should be a partner, a helping mate. So you that call yourself MTA wife, I don't care. So it all depends on understanding. It depends on individual opinion.
But I believe ATM wives should come, first of all, from the reasons why couples get married. It's from the beginning. Now, some ladies get married for desperation, not because of love or that they are getting to that stage where they should get married. But they feel because their friends are married, this is married, so there's nobody around I can get married to. So they tend to get anybody around. And when, from the beginning, when a lady shows a guy, I have money, and the source of the love is money, she buys him with her money, she's sure that after the marriage, she will continue being his ATM. He will keep withdrawing and withdrawing. And naturally, the truth be told is, women are not made, or they are not created to source for the family. It's not on them. It's just that things change, the men get lazy and so on, and the women had to go out and source for money. But the truth is, when a woman, no matter the money she has, takes care of a man for 1, 2, or 3 times, she gets tired.
You need to marry for love. You don't marry for the purpose of what you are going to get in that relationship. And that's why today we're having many broken homes. You see, today, a couple is married today, a week they are off. Why? Because all that they thought is going to be at the end of the day turns not to be. And as such, I totally disagree with it that it's not the best form of marriage.
So that's what people think about ATM wives. Devan, what do you think?
Okay, I thought the break would be longer. Now I have a marshmallow in my hand.
Go for it. Enough of that sweet.
Yes.
It's like she likes them so much.
I really like marshmallows, forgive me. So I'll be talking with a mouth full of marshmallow, but I'll try to enunciate so that you hear me properly. On a more serious note, I actually didn't know the term ATM wives or babes until the producer called me and raised the topic.
Yeah.
But essentially we're talking about, you know, a situation where the roles are reversed. You know, ordinarily, traditionally, religiously, culturally, and so on and so forth, ordinarily, the man is expected to be the breadwinner. He's expected to bring home the bacon, so to speak, and so on and so forth. But in recent time, there's a growing trend of more and more women taking on more and more of these financial responsibilities and obligations in the home.
Yeah.
And for many women, it's such a thing of, it's something they're so conscious of that I know of instances where women will buy a car and give the husband and be very happy just taking public transportation, so that it looks as if the man, you know, has a car and, you know, in good time he'll buy me mine and so on and so forth. Or buy themselves things and then try to project it out there that, oh, see what my husband did for me, oh, he did this for me and so on and so forth, when in actual fact they did it for themselves. Now there's that. Then the home. It goes as far as they're the one bringing home the bacon, literally, feeding, clothing, paying the rent, paying the fees. Whereas the man is physically not incapacitated, he's mentally sound.
Yeah.
There's no reason, he's probably even earning, but maybe earning less
not as much
than the wife is earning.
Yeah.
It now pushes the entire responsibility to her. This does not take away from her normal domestic, what should I say, chores. You're still expected to wake up and do all the other traditional stuff, keep the house clean, get the kids ready, do the cooking and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So that essentially, if it's in a marriage, the man can essentially just be described as a sperm donor, where his usefulness, you know, lies.
Yeah.
Essentially, he's just there to make sure the babies happen, because he's not adding any other value to the situation. But the tragedy of this is you have a lot of very young girls now who are not married, who in a bit, you know, there's this thing we now call wife material. In a bit to show how much of wife material they are, they practically hand over their ATMs to these boys on demand, along with their PIN numbers, so that whatever the girl is earning is essentially being, you know, like wiped out by this, in my opinion, scoundrel. And, you know, the girls let this thing happen because they're trying to show, oh, I'm so supportive. If I show how supportive I am, he'll probably wife me up and so on and so forth. And some of them are as young as 23, 24. You still have all the time in the world to look for a spouse. So you begin to wonder, where is this desperation coming from, and is it a good thing?
Well, that will bring us to who raised these men. Where if we have a generation of really desperate young women, and we have a co-generation, because these are the men they've grown up with, these are their peers, these are their mates, these are supposed to be their husbands, this is their generation. Who raised such desperate women, and who raised such men that are willing to take advantage of such desperate women? I mean, before now, it would be that, okay, my generation, for instance, you would court the woman and show that you're capable of taking care of a woman and eventually a family before any arrangements would be made. Because parents on both sides will actually be responsible enough to say, are you old enough? Is he capable of paying bills, including hospital bills, including this, including that, the whole gamut. And it will be clear that it is his responsibility to take care of these bills, unless you also want to do otherwise. You want to chip in once in a while. You're financially able to chip in. Then, of course, you would want to do that as a woman. But from the get-go, the explanation would be that you're the woman, he's the man, he's the provider, you're the supporter. Basic. Those were the rules. Who reversed the rules? Who raised this men, and who raised this women in this generation that are doing this thing, and why? Why are they doing it? These are some of the questions. What has changed? Culturally, have we changed the rules? Traditionally, have we changed the rules? If we haven't, then I would be talking about my own daughter wanting to get married at this stage, and she would not bring a scoundrel, let me borrow Devon's word, and say, I want to marry this scoundrel, and I would let her. So where are they hiding to do these things? Because where is the extended family? Because these are our checks and balances. So, I mean, how did society get here? How did it happen?
Edith, your daughter won't let you know that he's a scoundrel. That's just it. We are very good at hiding these things, especially when we're in those teenage or early 20s. I know a family where the husband and wife got married, and the guy didn't have a job, but they kept it from well, his parents knew, but her parents didn't know, and they went ahead with the wedding. They covered all that up.
You know what I'm thinking, there are giveaways. If you're observant, especially if it's in a situation where your daughter still lives with you,
yeah,
there will be giveaways. Let's say, for instance, she's earning. Maybe she works somewhere. You know, many of us are not very happy to let, up till now, we're not very happy to let girls who are not yet married just leave the house and rent space. So if she's still living with you and maybe she earns something and you have an idea roughly how much she earns, you can gauge what her lifestyle used to be before this person came into her life and what it is right now. For instance, if she was the kind of girl who liked to make her hair, let's say, twice a month, and now she'll carry her hair for 2 months. I mean, if she's walking over there, you can smell her and stuff. What happened to why? Yeah, you're in a relationship. That's when you're really worried about your appearance.
Yes.
So why are you letting yourself go? What's milking your money away? You know, so there begins to be giveaways. She's not able to maintain herself at a certain level anymore. Yeah, you might hear things. You might notice moodiness, unnecessary moodiness, temper tantrums, flips. You know, today the person is happy, tomorrow, another 3-4 days, the person is sad. So there are giveaways that if you look out for them, there are things that could give you a hint that all is not well.
She could even be asking for a loan. You can say something?
To me, I'm a little bit confused here. The word ATM wives, because in my own time, in our time, there was nothing like ATM. You know? Then I was trying to say women or ladies that have that try to impress men, that they just want to be impressive so that they get attracted to men. They want to like gain an upper hand. Oh, I have got it all. But I should think such scarce men, they get scared by that, and it's not realistic. So to me, I'm just being confused here that these things are happening.
That was way back then when he was not impressed. You buy him an expensive pair of shoes. He's very impressed that he's looking for the next gift.
These are something that are not natural. Because we have children.
Yes.
I have sons right now, and by God's grace, they'll get married some days. And if my own son comes to me to say, "Mommy, I have proposed to marry Janet," and I see my son comes home with a car, or I hear my son negotiating a building, the lady is trying to buy a building for him, I should be, it's something that's even scaring. So I wouldn't even know what to do.
That's exactly, yeah.
So it's not even something that is friendly. It's scary.
It's something that you can't fathom. But you see, if it's happening in a society and it's a rapid thing, it's happening at a rapid pace. And for me, I'm just I'm just asking again and again, where are the gaps? How did these gaps, how did it happen? How did we get here? That young girls, and you're not 40. To be termed desperate. You understand what I'm saying? You're in your 20s. Is it that women are now earning and so they can do as they please? But does it make you happy? That's another thing I should be asking. Are you happy? Are these girls happy? Do we understand if they're happy to do these things for this man and they can continue to do this for as long as the relationship or the marriage lasts?
I have an answer to that. I feel in an ideal situation, it shouldn't even happen, because you trying to impress the man by what you have. I mean, a woman should be under the control of a man. That will not even make the relationship work out. I think that is just my straight answer to that.
So you think she would not be happy?
The man will not be happy, and I know I'm going out of my way to do that, doing things that are not natural.
You keep saying it's not natural. No, well, to them it is natural. I don't know.
There's a point you raised, which I totally agree with. Now, there are guys who are in the middle, who still have sense and everything. But now there's a problem of great polarization. There are these guys who, maybe, I don't know, I should call them toy boys. They don't even mind dating much older women. They just want somebody who will keep them in good style. And if it's a younger girl and she's ready to do it, fine, they're happy. They want to be kept. They want to be kept men. There are young men like that who go out specifically looking on such girls to scrounge on. Then there are the ones for whom the faintest hint of success in a woman sends them running miles away.
Yes,
Yeah.
in the opposite direction.
That is the angle.
Just this morning, or was it last night? You know, earlier when I came in, I was talking to you about this Facebook group where people are really, you know, very expressive, for want of a better term. And this young man put up a post saying, if you meet her and she has a career, she has a job, she does not have a child, wow man, run away, she's going to have a huge attitude. Naturally, people heaped insults on him, and for the life of me, I couldn't understand why just owning a car now renders a woman unmarried, because he was essentially, if you're saying run away from the girl, you're saying don't marry her, don't have a relationship with her. So you have these two people on two very opposite spectrums.
Yes.
The one who wants to be looked after, the one who runs away just because you don't have a good job.
Yeah. And as she said, if he's the one who wants to be in charge of that relationship and take control of the relationship, for men, that in charge and that control usually is about the resources.
Yes.
Who has the most. So if he doesn't have more than you, then he's definitely feeling disadvantaged already. He's going to run. But then there's that one who doesn't care. He actually wants you to take care of all the bills. He just wants to be a fine boy.
Yeah.
And Nika, you know the frightening thing?
Yeah.
You would ordinarily expect that because the man, the tables are turned, right? And the woman now has all this money and therefore the economic empowerment. You will be shocked to discover that there are some men who become real bullies even in the middle of this, because since they don't have the economic capacity to, you know, be the man,
Yes.
what they will do is they'll use their fists, they'll use their tongues, they'll be malicious, they'll be mean, they'll be nasty, and you'll still bring the money.
Yes.
You'll still bring the money.
So sad though.
Yeah. So there's that. And then there are girls who are actually offering these ATM cards. I'm talking of the non-married situation now.
Yes.
There are girls who are trying to use that as an incentive to lure young men.
To make them marry them?
Yes. Young girl, you're giving a guy money, definitely you're trying to woo him into marrying you. Yeah, you want him to see that you're a keeper, and so on and so forth. So I know of at least one instance where a young girl who is actually working 2 jobs offered her ATM card to the young man she's dating.
Wow.
And he said no, because he got worried. He's not that kind of person, and he's like, okay, what's wrong with this picture? This girl wants me to be under her thumb or something. She's not a girl that I mean, they've been barely 3 months into the relationship when this happened. They're not engaged. He has not promised her marriage. He hasn't taken her home, and she's already offering her ATM card.
This ATM of it.
Yeah. So that's where the whole ATM babes thing comes from.
Yeah, but for me, I'm still wondering, at what point did we raise such daughters? Because I mean, it smacks of low self-esteem.
Yes,
I think so.
It smacks of low self-esteem. Where is your self-esteem? A relationship is something that should be a collaboration, a friendship, a give and take. So if you're willing to give so much at the drop of a hat, why? There must be a catch. And any reasonable man or young man or whoever wants to be in that relationship would definitely question, the way Devon is saying, the guy questioned, what is wrong with this picture? There's something wrong with this picture if you're so desperate. Why are you so desperate? Why the desperation? And I still haven't gotten the answer.
Okay.
I wish we had someone within this generation that has, you know, a peer group, you know, that would understand and help me explain where the gap came from, because we are not all of the same age, but at least we reason towards the same direction. So maybe there's a generational gap, and there's something we don't know, and I really think we ought to know what it is.
I want us to see it from this perspective. If you really have the capability and you have the means, you are growing up in a relationship, you are growing up with a man, and he doesn't have the capability, the financial capability to carry some things going for the relationship to work out. And with all fairness, I'm referring to normal situation. And you come and to say, okay, come, let's sit down, let's reason together. I'm going to be your wife. I have a job. You promised to marry me, and I know that. And I have the capability. I can bring out my funds. I think this is really fair, because we shouldn't just see it the other way around. Unless if I will not see it as if I'm luring the man. I'm just doing what is practically right, with good conscience, with all fairness.
I understand that, but there are women that are going to buy rings and dropping on one knee and proposing to the man. It's kind of all related. It's like you're taking on the responsibility, something that he's meant to do. If he doesn't have a job, I think it's a different case. But some are just, well, she's making the money, so why should I bother? Why should I? She's bringing home the bacon, so why should I go out of my way to do it? So if she can afford to, why not? And that's why we see all these videos now of girls. How can a girl even go out, buy a ring, and propose to a guy? I just find it so...
In public.
Thank you, in public. You even do it. You know,
that's why I'm saying that we need representation of someone within this generation where this is happening. For the likes, because it's definitely going to go up on one of the social media channels.
Yes.
They believe so much in the likes, the reposts, the shares. These are the things that make sense to the generation we're talking about. These are some of the things, because it doesn't happen until there's someone filming it. That's how it gets on.
Oh, you mean
the social media? Some of these open proposals. Yeah, they're looking for the rush of those number of likes, and these are the things that shape the minds of some of the people in these generations. And they're not grounded in the self. It's all of these things that matter to them. Their lives extend to the avatar, who they are. It's there. It's on that social media app, whichever one is the best that they're using at the moment. So these are some of the things. But we need them to explain to us how it works that they go to such extremes. You understand? Because, I mean, I just don't get it. I mean, it's natural that the man proposes, but if you feel like you ought to propose to him, I think it's all private. For me, even a man proposing, it should be done privately, really. I'm not big on the open. So, but what works for me does not have to, what works for me does not have to work for you. So I'm big on the private. A relationship is something private to me. I don't want it out in the open. I don't want anybody using their phones while you're saying something really, really serious like that to me. So I understand. I mean, I'm different, and I'm not of that generation. You understand? But on the other hand, I also know someone within my generation who, when it was time to pay the bride price, when it was time to do the wedding trousseau, as they say in Nigeria, in my own culture, you have to buy a box full of wrappers, some for the sisters, some for the mother, some for this, some for that. He said he didn't have the money. To me, it would have been, okay, you know what? Hold on. It means we are not ready yet. Because if I bring half and you bring half, I can understand that. But she paid for the box that was to be brought to her house.
For me, that's a no-no.
That's a no-no. For me, it's a no-no. That is up, because why does tradition demand of such things? It's a stopgap measure. It's checks and balance. It's trial. They're trying you. It's not like your whole family, nobody had wrappers. It's not like your mom absolutely needs 2 or 3 more wrappers. They don't need the blankets. They have washes. You know, they have some ridiculous things on that list. And then you're supposed to come and say, oh, the family of the man will come and say, oh, these things are too much, blah, 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 and back and forth. And within that time, you learn each other's character.
Temperament.
Temperament. It's a test. You know that in retrospect, you know, it's just a test. The family just needs to do this back and forth and get to know each other better. So that because they know that marriage is a very long,
lasting relationship,
unpredictable journey. So they need to know these little things beforehand, so that they'll prepare you and prepare themselves. During this back and forth, they'll get to know whom you're trying to marry, and they'll get to tell you, do you know what? Do this, do this, do this when you marry this man. Or some parents will even go to the point and say, you know what, with that temperament he displayed, we are not agreeing. If you marry him, you're on your own. You know, it happens during that time. So I don't understand why you do the reverse, where he's supposedly saying, bring this. And you quickly go and meet him behind and say, you know what, I'll pay. take this money, or I've bought the wrappers. Here's a box full of wrappers. Just roll it into the venue. You've totally cancelled the main reason why our parents do the things they do.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Tradition. Although we live in modern society now, some of these traditions, it's not because our parents are greedy or because our parents are stupid or our parents don't know what they're doing. In retrospect, you begin to see the value of these things because you keep running back to them when things go wrong. You need counsel from them. You need this. And the things they saw when those traditional things were going on are the things they're going to use to help settle whatever differences you have. But when you upset the process, ab initio, you've already given him ground to disrespect you because you bought the wrappers.
Absolutely.
Out of curiosity, is your friend still with her husband?
But there's a lot of ups and downs because you know what? The bedrock, the foundation was a bit shaky. So these are the things.
You mean some lady could go as far as providing money for their bride price?
Yes,
Yes.
some do.
These kind of discussions are really very necessary.
And
I'm hearing strange things.
Because the wrappers are part of the bride price.
Yes, yes.
I'm hearing strange things, and we are all here learning. That solved.
And she belongs in my generation,
that
so
is
I
all.
can understand. But I really do need to understand part of the things I'm saying, the likes on social media. But we really need to understand why the ladies in the newer generation are having lower and lower self-esteem.
I feel such ladies are desperate.
Yes.
And when you are desperate, it's a very, I don't know.
It's a very dicey one.
It's why, because from the customary point of view, because customs, our own religion, society, influence what we do. From that customary point of view, when what we know, and that is still what is happening. Table around. I know customary wise, before a man, come around to ask parents for marriage, they will ask you some salient questions. And one of the questions is this: are you financially capable enough to take care of our daughter? They are not saying you should be wealthy. They are just trying to say, do you have something that you can put on the table for both of you to feed on? Because they equally put into consideration those primary responsibilities of a man. One of them is you create shelter, you do the feeding, and you clothe your wife. That is the customary point of view. Yeah, from my own faith, my biblical point of view, a man is the head of a family. And the Bible in Corinthians is saying that a man should nourish and cherish the wife. The wife should give back in return to respect the man. You can see even from creation, God has given the men the upper hand. So, I wonder why ladies now turn the table round to be the one in charge of their affairs. You want to gain that superiority over the man? We've always known men to be the what they call it, the winner.
Breadwinners, yes.
The breadwinner.
But okay, you know, we
and
actually,
the women, the homemakers.
Yeah.
So where are we getting this kind of trend from? Is it from this modern trend? This is alarming. So alarming.
Okay, but you know, the part about bullying and the beatings and the men get violent. I think that statistics has proven that in such relationships, there's violence as well. And it's still, we still can tie it down to low self-esteem because even if the man had everything, even if he offered you once, he can hit you. So if he does it once, I suggest you walk, unless you have very good reason to think that you won't do it again.
There's so
But
many
I-
reasons.
yeah.
though. The aunties, the mommies. The
Yeah,
his
but
that's
mommy,
true.
Yeah,
all
true.
those.
But what I'm saying is, for me, that is my own rule. That's
Okay.
my rule. If he hits you once, walk. Especially if you've not married him already.
Yeah.
Walk.
And
Don't
it's
stay.
advice you give your daughter.
Yes.
Yes.
Definitely walk.
It's
So I don't understand why the tables have turned.
Yeah.
I'm bringing in the bacon,
Yeah.
and you're still hitting me. I mean, how low is your self-esteem? Really, this is a self-esteem issue. It is a generation that has issues with self-esteem, because there's no other way I can explain this. Nikki, you haven't really said much.
you
I
know
need
what?
you to
There's
say,
something, something I was
Yeah.
just when you said self-esteem.
Yeah.
There are a lot of women out there, even friends of mine, that look at themselves in the mirror and say, "Well, I am not pretty enough. I'm probably not the right size. I'm probably not going to find that man of my dreams, so I'm just going to settle." And in the process of settling, this is where some of these things, let me make up for, okay, he's not
Some
that,
perceived
yeah,
deficiency.
you know, perceived deficiency, exactly. Let me try and make up. Let me try and fill in the gap. So people won't, I mean, there's this, in quote, desperation for some of us to be settled. And there was an actress that had challenges, and she said she just wanted to give people the impression that she was in a settled home when the whole place was burning. The place was burning, and she said she was desperate to give people the impression that all was well. And so many of us are in that same situation,
Which is sad.
trying so hard.
It's
to
really sad. But I want
give people
to.
the
And when, let me just conclude that point. And when you try to show the man in the house that you've gained superiority because you've got the financial capability, just as she pointed out, that could actually result to aggression in the home. It doesn't really promote
Okay.
that
I'll
relationship
agree
that
with you
far.
on that. Yes.
You have that on the man's superiority, his moral is something we really have to check.
That Gloria raised a point much earlier, which I've kept at the back of my mind to, respond to. She said, essentially, if I'm going to, just summarize what she said, are we suggesting that women should not financially assist men they're in relationships with? Essentially, that's where you're.
In
Yeah, yeah,
relationship,
yeah.
Yes.
not marriage.
Not marriage. Let's
Yeah,
say, because
even
it's a
before that,
relationship that
yes.
becomes a marriage now.
Yeah.
So let's say you're dating this guy. It's a good relationship. You
Yeah.
feel that he's an honest, dependable person. He's
Yeah.
not likely to leave you in the lurch. Then let's say, for instance, he loses his job, but you're still earning and you're doing fine.
Okay.
What happens? Do you now abscond the relationship because
Yes.
he's no longer earning? Do you just sit, after all, I'm a woman, and watch him
Yes.
suffer and sweat and everything?
Yeah.
Or does it make moral sense to, in such a situation, assist this person? I think that's what she was trying to say.
Yeah.
And we haven't touched on it. It's a very important.
Yeah,
Can
I'm
this be
wondering
a
what I would
black
do in
and
my
white
own
situation?
What would
No,
I do in that situation?
It's not a cut and dry situation. It's not a cut and dry thing. You can't be blaming a woman who has been maybe in a relationship. Let's say you've spent the past 2 years in a courtship with somebody,
Okay.
and suddenly something happens, and you have now to step up and pay a few bills. I think, for me, if it was me, I would step up and pay a few bills, knowing that this was not of your making. This is life.
It just happened.
Life happens,
Yeah.
Even if you got into a marriage, I can assure you that at some point in time in your marriage, you're going to have to step up and pay some bills. So long as you're a reasonable human being who is in a relationship that is meant to go the whole hog, last forever. That is what marriage is supposed to be, a relationship that lasts forever. For better, for worse. It's not a joke. When worse comes on your husband, you're supposed to be the better. You step up. You fill the gap. You don't let anybody see those gaps until he's back on his feet. It could be even due to illness. Due to illness, all that he's saved up just goes down, boom, because he's been ill and they've had to pay massive hospital bills. You step up. So even in a relationship, pre-marriage, if that's the kind of relationship it is, where you people are already doing stuff together, you step up. That's why even when I was talking about the wedding bills, can you do 50-50? But you don't go the whole hog and go and pay your dowry.
That's just wrong.
Yeah.
And just to chime in with what Edith said, I think that it's only fair. This person, in my own, let me personalize it too.
Okay.
I wouldn't do that for somebody I think is a deadbeat. What do I mean? Somebody who I think is intrinsically irresponsible. Yeah? Let's say you're earning, you fell on hard times, but I also know you're a very hard drunk. You're the kind of person who is not responsible with money.
Yeah.
Let's say, for instance, you are broke. I decide to, you know, help you out with 10,000. You go and use 8,000 to buy yourself a new shirt. You understand? Yeah? Or you buy yourself a perfume that me myself, I'm still earning. I didn't buy it because I'm trying to make my money go round. You take the money, go and buy perfume, or you know, I wouldn't do it for just any guy.
Yeah, well, true.
So if someone responsible.
Yes, if it's somebody responsible, and I know that, look, you're just getting beat down by life, I will step up.
Okay.
I will put in even my last cent.
What
I will
about
assist.
a situation where, sorry, Gloria, what about a situation where he's earning a whole lot of money, and this married situation, he's earning a whole lot of money, and she's earning some money, not so much, but he's clearly a man of means. Do you think the woman still needs to chip in when it comes to the running of the household?
Gloria was asking this question before the camera started rolling, and it felt like she was kind of describing my marriage. My husband is not wealthy, yeah, but he has several streams of income. So he earns far more than I do, far more than I do. But we've never sat down and really apportioned who will do what. Okay. As a person, I've taken it upon myself to make sure that there are some things that I do as a matter of course. I make sure I pay the lady who helps me out at home.
Okay. Yeah.
I buy some of the food.
Okay.
I make sure NEPA, if it goes off, whoever has money in the house handles that. Fuel for the gen, all this. We just find a way to make it go around. I don't hoard my money because it's smaller. I want him to know that I have some value as well. So I always try and make sure that I take on some financial responsibilities in addition to any other, you know, wifely things that I'm doing. So that it doesn't look as if, okay, because he's earning more than I am, then, okay, he has to come and do everything. He takes charge of the really big stuff, like, you know, the accommodation, school fees and such. And I feel as if it's only fair that I chime in with the little I have.
A little bit, yeah.
So for me, that's what I do in my home.
I want to, your name?
Edith.
Edith has always been stressing the fact that before the marriage, there were a lot of things you were doing. You took it upon yourself to do those things just to keep the relationship going for fairness. And she kept repeating, when you are actually in the marriage, when you settle down, you have to step up. You have to step up, you have to step up. I don't completely say it that way. I must not be compelled to do that when I don't have the willpower, the financial strength.
Okay.
I think it depends on understanding. Yes, I was able to do it then, probably because I made some money. I was able to make some savings, and I was able to do that. What if in a practical situation, I don't have such funding? Should I force myself? Should my spouse, partner, force me to doing those things I don't have the capability of doing no more? This is where understanding has to come in when it comes to marriage, when it comes to relationship. You deal with a particular situation the way it arises. I think that's just what I have to add there. Yes, there's this point before I let go. Yes. Oftentimes, we hear the men complaining that the women are not measuring up when it comes to sharing duties, financial responsibility in the home. You hear some women, sorry to say, well, from the Islamic point of view, their own is written black and white. They know it as ABCD. That I am my husband's property. He's going to take care of me. He's going to go doing everything for me. If I want to help in household chores, I'm doing it because I just have to do it for charity. They both understand it that way, and there's really no issue. Even if they work, they are not really compelled to pick up any duty. And I have always believed that customary law is a mirror of accepted usage. If they have both agreed and you have seen it that way, oh, these are the conditions, these are the requirements, and for the Muslim, you went into such agreements and it's okay by them, no problem. But from the other point of view, in a situation whereby the man earns well, he's financially capable, earns more than the woman, you cannot even predict what he can do with his money because this man is worthy, and you stay back with your peanuts. I'm posing a scenario. From that peanut, you take care of yourself as a working class because your spouse believes you work. Yes, it's true, you work and you earn. I feel for a woman to show such responsibility, you have already carved out that responsibility from the man. You are already helping the man a lot. Because for a woman to completely take care of herself and other extraneous miscellaneous surrounding her, she's really helpful to the man. In a situation where the lady, she's working, she earns, she does not demand anything from the man, I believe that woman is fair. And it's not sufficient for you to say, I work, I take every income to myself. I believe practically women go a lot to do things in their home. They are very, very supportive. Yes, they might not really spell them out, just like the man will come, bring school fees, maybe bring money for feeding, do whatever. But there are a lot of things women shoulder in their home, just as she had pointed out. Because we don't really keep transactions, we don't keep records of all these things we do. We don't keep receipts. We do a lot because the men are not really always there. So we appreciate a situation whereby we don't just have that clear-cut judgment that the women do not really contribute in their home. I believe the women do a lot of
say that. My husband told me one time that, you know what, he has developed a habit of not asking. If he gives me money, he doesn't ask what I use it for, because if he calculates all the things that I buy and all the things he sees in the house, he knows that
over and above. It's over and above.
Thank you. I'm owing you at the end of the day. I don't want to know.
There's two things I just want to say quickly.
Sure.
There's a litmus test.
Yeah.
If you were living alone, what would you do for yourself? You understand what I'm saying? If you were living alone, what would you do for yourself? So that you have now moved. I keep stressing that in relationships, you're a whole. He's a whole. He's two wholes trying to make a life together. So you're keeping your eyes on whatever he has, or he keeping his eyes on whatever you have. That it's already a wrong foundation. Because while we're a little bit taken aback, it used to be that we had the kept women. It was never that we had kept men. The norm was to have kept women. Women who did nothing but waited on a man to pay the bills right down to the last bit in their lives. They didn't lift a finger. And as she said, the extremely rich men were the target. But suddenly now we have a new generation where it's the other way around. But on a good day, for your self-esteem, I ask you, be you a man or a woman, what would you do for yourself? What would you do for yourself? If the chips were down and there was no one around, would you not get up, hustle, and do something for yourself and keep your head above water?
Sure.
So why do you want to sit around and wait for somebody else to do it for you? There's definitely, once you begin to think like that, there's definitely something wrong with you, and you need to retrospect. You need to ask yourself. So I'm just posing the question to the young men and to the young women out there who think that their own lives are somebody else's responsibility. The bills, everything should be on someone else. please take a moment and think, why? Why do you feel so low about yourself? Why do you think somebody else should pick up your bills? What is that person doing that you cannot do? What would you do for yourself? Think about you. You have to be whole to be in a relationship. Please, there's no two ways about it.
Yeah.
You can't be a kept man or a kept woman. You have to bring something to the table. You have to add value, just as Devon has said.
You know, Edith raised, there's a point you raised about 3 times that we've somehow just let it slide. That how did we get to this place where the tables, you know, have literally flipped? I have some theories. I could be wrong. I can't help thinking that feminism has something to do with it. We're very keen on just blindly following what the West says do. So there's that. There's also, I can't help thinking like maybe there's a glitch in the parenting process. We put so much emphasis, so much into molding women to become wives. We groom them, we teach them hygiene, keeping the house, cooking,
And the men are
doing this and that, and the boys are like football. I mean, it's serious. Even when they're age mates, you know, they're just there watching TV. They don't know how anything is happening. If they manage to make tea, it's a miracle. Yeah,
you clap
and they
for them.
continue like that. Then all of a sudden they're 25, and you expect them to bring something to the table. How? This person has never cleaned his room. He doesn't know what to do when he messes up the toilet. But there's a maid to come and do it. His elder sister will take care of that. If he manages to take his bath and clean his ears, he should get an award that day. Yeah? So the boys are there, lounging, and women, mothers, we spend more time at home, so it's our fault. We take young men, we put them on a pedestal.
Yes.
That pedestal is made of diamonds and gold. Their sisters, be they younger or older, cater to their needs. The maid caters to their needs. Mommy caters to their needs. Also daddy too. Then he gets told about how much stress his mother went through before he was born. That's why she has all these 19 girls. And women, I mean, some homes, you just look at the children and you know why Junior exists. Yeah? So they have this mentality. We raise them with a mentality of entitlement.
Entitlement, yes.
I am here, I'm doing you a favor in this home as a son. And in fact, I'm even the first son, sir. Therefore, I know that when daddy dies, I'm going to inherit. Why should I lift a finger? Then you have all these desperate girls out there who have already told me how handsome I am. Yeah? I'm blessing their lives with my looks. So why should I even... I'm sorry, mothers, there are a lot of mothers doing this nonsense. Before I had a son, my mother-in-law was so mean. They were even planning to get my husband another wife. At least now I have a boy there. And then we wrap them up in cotton wool and, you know, anywhere you're going, the precious son.
Then
you raise monsters, and at the end of the day, when he's 35 and he's being the little monster you raised him to be to his wife, everybody is being surprised. Why now?
Where did
He wasn't raised to know any different.
Well, yeah, that's a theory, because frankly, the mothers do the raising most of the time, and we raise daughters that are supposed to be submissive and this and that, just as she has pointed out, and then we raise sons with a sense of entitlement. But still, I don't believe that primarily the majority of society has gone in that direction. I still think that most mothers try to balance. I'm a mother. I think that I tried to do a bit of balancing. You understand? You do this, you do that. It can't be that your sister is doing one thing and you're just lounging around doing nothing. You have to learn to do chores, because you knowing how to cook in the generation we are now, it's not like you've done anybody a favor as a guy. You learn how to cook because it is a survival skill. Or else you're going to live on tin food all your life. I mean, it's true. If you have a woman worth her salt in your life, she's not going to be your maid. She's going to be your partner. So you have to have survival skills. You must, just as we say, the woman brings something to the table. Apart from being a breadwinner and everything, the man brings something to the table too. You're a woman, if you're working, the man is working. So it's a partnership. It's something that we're doing together. I hate it when I see them saying he helped her do the dishes. She wasn't born to do dishes. If you're doing the dishes, you're doing the dishes.
Yeah.
If she's doing the dishes, she's doing the dishes. He wasn't helping her. He was helping in the house. He was helping keep the house together.
Should the women share equal financial responsibility?
It's not, I'm not into feminism, but I'm saying that you should bring something to the table. It is a partnership, and we're moving forward. The influences are too many. You must be grounded, you must be balanced.
Okay, ladies, we're out of time. Thank you, Gloria, Edith, Devan. It's been fantastic talking about our topic today. I mean, I've just said in my mind, you know, I have a boy and a girl growing up at the same time, same age, and I'm just like, wow, you know, I as a mother have to be sure that the way she can wash plates very well, he needs to learn how to wash plates very well. So I've learned so much from this personally. Thank you so much for joining us in the conversation room. We hope that you've learned a thing or two. If you'd like to give us your comments or thoughts on the topic today, our social media handles are available on the screen. We would love to hear from you. So this is Nika signing out and saying see you again soon. Take care.